Hey guys, welcome back. We're back on the Trump show today, I guess you could call it. We got another episode because, of course, Trump is doing what Trump does. He's signing more and more bills. So I just want to say good morning, America. Good morning, USA.
And if the BRICS nations want
And
to do
yeah,
that, that's okay, but we're going to put at least a 100% tariff on the business they do with the United States. You know what the BRICS is, right? You guys know. You know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying. So it's not even a threat. In fact, since I made that statement, Biden said, well, they have us over a barrel. I said, no, we have them over a barrel. And there's no way they're going to be able to do that.
This is an executive order relating to
those countries, like Spain.
As a BRICS nation, yes. They'll have 100% tariff if they so much as even think about doing what they thought.
Can you explain how?
And therefore they'll give it up immediately. So will China give it up.
So this is about reforming the system of hiring in the federal government to ensure that merit is the lodestar of hiring decisions
As per the Supreme Court.
other matters. Yes, sir.
Mr. President, here's a big deal, merit. Our country's going to be based on merit again. Can you believe it?
Mr. President, you said you would end the Russia-Ukraine war on your first day in office. Where do things stand right now, and how do you expect?
Well, there's only half a day. I have another half a day left. We'll see. We want to get it done.
This is an order creating and implementing the Department of Governmental Efficiency, known as DOGE.
Okay, that's a big one.
Is Elon Musk going to get a West Wing office?
No, he's getting an office for about 20 people that we're hiring to make sure that these get implemented. We have a problem in this country. You sign an executive order, it doesn't get done for 6 months. As an example, when we allowed the J6 hostages to go out, it might not be approved under the old days for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months. They had a good ruling from the Supreme Court, and it's like nothing happened. That ruling was 6 months ago, you know that. And it was like they didn't have a ruling. They've been treated very unfair. The judges have been absolutely brutal. The prosecutors have been brutal. Nobody's ever treated people in this country like that.
Mr. President, are you commuting the sentences of anyone who assaulted a police officer on January 6th?
Well, we're looking at 2 police officers, actually, that Washington police officers who went after an illegal, and things happened, and they ended up putting them in jail. They got 5-year jail sentences. You know the case. And we're looking at that in order to give them we got to give them a break.
But is there clemency in your actions today for anyone?
Well, it would be a part. That would be a part. The one I'm talking about would be a part.
Should there be punishment for the people who assaulted law enforcement officers that day?
Well, I will say this. They've been in jail for a long time already. I see murderers in this country get 2 years, 1 year, and maybe no time.
no fucking shit.
These people have been destroyed.
Murderers.
What they've done to these people is outrageous. There's rarely been anything like it in the history of our country. And even people that were aggressive, and in many cases I believe they happen to be outside agitators, but what do I know, right? But I think they were outside agitators. There were outside agitators involved. And obviously the FBI was involved because Ray admitted the FBI was involved. Didn't he say 23 people indirectly or directly were involved, and it was then 26? That's a lot of people. No, we have, we're going to take care of these people have been treated so badly. It's never happened before. What happened in Seattle where they took over a big portion of the city? What happened in Portland where they burn down the city every day and people die? Nothing happened to anybody. But they go after these people violently. I mean, they're still going after brand new people. They found somebody else with a picture. There's never been anything like this. And it's almost 100%. Think of this. Almost 100% of the people are convicted. 100%. It's Washington, D.C. People go into a trial and they say, oh, I have a wonderful lawyer and I didn't do anything wrong. And they end up in shackles almost immediately and jail. No, well, I can let it happen.
About Greenland, you have some interest in buying it, but is there any other option that would satisfy you?
About what?
Greenland, instead of buying it.
Finland?
Greenland.
Oh, Greenland. Greenland is a wonderful place. We need it for international security.
We need it.
And I'm sure that Denmark will come along. I think it's costing them a lot of money to maintain it, to keep it. The people of Greenland are not happy with Denmark, as you know. I think they're happy with us. We had representatives, my son and representatives went up there 2 weeks ago, and they like us. So we'll see what happens. But Greenland is necessary, not for us, it's necessary for international security. You have Russian boats all over the place, you have China boats all over the place, warships. And they can't maintain it.
You're not going to be talking Vladimir Putin.
Who?
You're going to meet President Putin, sir.
I'll be meeting with President Putin.
When?
I don't know, I can't speak, said
What
I.
your first trip for the night, sir?
So the first foreign trip typically has been with UK, but I did it with Saudi Arabia last time because they agreed to buy $450 billion worth of our product. I said, I'll do it, but you have to buy American product, and they agreed to do that. They bought $450 billion. It was the least reported story I've ever been involved
And
in.
now, where are you planning to go now?
Well, I don't know. If Saudi Arabia wanted to buy another 450 or 500, we'll up it for all the inflation.
Mr. President, you say you were going
I think
to
I
end
probably
the
will.
war first day. How do you plan to end the Ukraine war?
Well, we're gonna try and get it done as quickly as possible.
Do you want to push Israel and Saudi
It should have never started. You know, the war with Ukraine and Russia should have never started. It
Never,
was
ever.
no precedent.
Will you push Israel and Saudi Arabia? to
Hit the like and subscribe button if you love Donald Trump.
I don't think I have to push it. I think it's gonna happen, but maybe not quite yet, but they'll end up being in the Accords, the Abraham Accords.
President Trump,
I think Saudi Arabia will end up being in the Abraham Accords.
This year?
Could be, but, soon. No, not in a very long way. Ooh, look at that, it says TikTok.
Do you guys love Trump? Do you hate Trump?
First, we have Alaska, sir. This is an executive order relating to unleashing Alaska's potential as an energy reservoir for the entire nation.
And what about Anwar?
I believe that would be included in aspect of the
So
order.
we're opening up Anwar.
on the TikTok piece, President Trump, you and your members of your team now used to warn about the dangers of TikTok spying on Americans. What changed that you're not worried about that anymore?
Well, it depends on the deal. I mean, I may not do the deal, or I may do the deal. TikTok is worthless. Worthless. If I don't approve it, it has to close. I learned that from the people that own it. If I don't do the deal, it's worthless, worth nothing. If I do the deal, it's worth maybe $1 trillion, $1 trillion. So if I do the deal I'm talking about doing it for the United States. If I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half.
The TikTok
In other words, I think the U.S. should be entitled to get half of TikTok. And congratulations, TikTok has a good partner. And that would be worth, it could be $500 billion or something. It's crazy, the numbers are crazy. But it's worthless if the president doesn't sign, then it's worthless. If the president does sign, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. So I think, like a joint venture, I think we would have a joint venture with the people from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's one of many ideas I've
The
had.
CEO right now, did he say that he's open to that idea?
Who?
The CEO of TikTok is around.
Oh, I think he'd probably like it.
I don't
He's got
think
nothing.
so.
They really have nothing. It's passed in Congress. It gives the president a right to make a deal or to close it. And we have 90 days to make that decision. But I could see making a deal where the U.S. gets 50% of TikTok, polices it a little bit or a lot, depends on that. But remember, they make
Thank God for Donald Trump. This man is smart. He's no idiot.
Complains about that. Here they're complaining about this. So many different products made in China, and nobody ever complained about it. The only one they complain about is TikTok. And TikTok is low.
I hate
Young people,
TikTok.
I guess I have a warm spot for TikTok that I didn't have originally, but I went on TikTok and I won young people up by 36%, Peter. And Republicans typically don't do too well with young people, but it's a different Republican Party.
Would the U.S. TikTok executive order TikTok then, or how would it get that 50%?
No, you take.
I hate fucking TikTok. It makes me nauseous. It makes me want to suicide myself
And they'd have a great partner. The U.S. would be their partner.
watching
But the
that.
U.S. essentially would be paid for doing that half of the value.
Trump said he's not going to mess with TikTok unless they sell 50% of TikTok minimum, or not sell it, give it to the U.S. YouTube is great. We just need to work on the censorship. I need Trump to mention YouTube
And remember, TikTok.
because it's kind of hard to get monetized for my Trump content right now. So I think Trump needs to talk with YouTube a little bit.
To be honest with you,
After-
there are bigger problems than that. But you know, when you take a look at telephones that are made in China and all the other things that are made in China, military equipment made in China.
Everybody hit the like and subscribe button. Welcome. Good morning.
TikTok is not their biggest problem. But there's big value in TikTok if it gets approved. If it doesn't get approved, there's no value. So if we create that value, why aren't we entitled to like half?
Sir, can you give a meetings where you shut them down?
Does Biden ever do news conferences like this? How many news conferences, Peter, has he done like this?
Like this?
None.
0.
And it would be 0 for the next infinity. For infinity, it would be 0.
Mr. President, is President Musk gonna help implement the executive orders? I think you mentioned.
No. Elon, no. Elon is very busy sending rocket ships up to various places.
Yeah, no, I know this isn't live. This was a few hours ago. We're just catching up on some of his executive orders.
Which one?
Yeah, I know this isn't live. Trump isn't live right now, as far as I know. If I'm wrong about Trump being live, then let me know. But I don't think Trump is live at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's great.
So I'm bringing back some of the executive orders. A lot of people were a bit busy yesterday. And people in Europe are just seeing it now, really, too.
Very good. People know, they know.
And around the world. A lot of people are just seeing this now.
I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know what's going to happen with that. He's got.
I'm sure you saw it hours ago.
Very strong ideas, though, Marco.
You signed Did you sign the TikTok order?
Yeah.
Yes, that was just.
I'm just catching up with it, man. I'm just catching up with it. Let the European family catch up with us.
Well, we're going to find out about that too, because we're going to probably stop buying oil from Venezuela. We don't need their oil.
Another embargo like the first term?
Well, could be, but we don't want to buy. We don't have to buy their oil. We have plenty of oil for ourselves, so
President Trump,
that'll change Venezuela quite a bit.
President Trump, there was a lot of concern about this during the campaign. The question that only works today.
Guys, let's check on the price of Trump coin.
No. I can't imagine even being golden. No, I believe in the sanctity of the vote. The Democrats.
Oh, that's unfortunate, guys. Trump
I
coin.
believe in the sanctity, and this was too big to rig. This last election was just too big to rig.
Mr. President,
Really the opposite.
when do you plan to speak to President Putin?
Could be very soon.
And you talked a bit about Ukraine and Russia, but how long do you think it would take to end that conflict? And
I have to speak to President Putin. We're going to have to find out. He can't be thrilled. He's not doing so well. I mean, he's grinding it out, but most people thought that war would have been.
Let's
over
check out the
in
dollar. Hold on,
And
guys.
now you're into 3 years, right? So he can't be thrilled.
Guys, that is doing pretty good. $1 to €1.
It's a big machine, so things will happen, but I think he'd be very well off to end that war. We have numbers that almost 1 million Russian soldiers have been killed. About 700,000 Ukrainian soldiers are killed. Russia's bigger, they have more soldiers to lose. But that's no way to run a country.
What did your TikTok order do, Mr. President?
It just gave me the right to sell it or close it. Essentially with TikTok, I have the right to either sell it or close it. And we'll make that determination. And we may have to get an approval from China too, I'm not sure. But I'm sure they'll approve it. And if they don't approve it, it would be somewhat of a hostile act, I think. But it's good for China if it gets approved.
Mr. President, you're not guaranteeing that TikTok will be around after 90 days from today.
No, but it could very well be. It makes sense for it to be, because it's got tremendous value. But if we create the value by approving, in other words, that approval gives it tremendous value. if that's the case, then we should be entitled to 50% as a country. You understand? You haven't heard that one before, right? That's called a joint venture. And nobody ever thought that way. Well, I don't know. I think you have a lot of people that would be interested in TikTok with the United States as a partner.
Mr. President, what was it like walking into the Oval Office this evening?
Oh, what a great feeling. One of the better feelings I've ever had. Well, we're very experienced now. You would say nobody's ever had experience like I have. I've dealt with some very good people. I've dealt with some very bad people, and I know who the bad ones are and the good ones are. You know, don't forget.
Putin's special 3-day
real estate business.
military operation.
People used to say, who's worse, a politician or a vicious real estate developer? And I would say, you know, the real estate developer is far worse. But after about 3 months and getting to know scum like Adam Schiff and other people like that, I said, no, actually, real estate people are quite nice by comparison.
You said you
No shit.
What about President Zelensky and what's your message?
Yeah, I would, but he's told me he wants to make a deal. Zelensky wants to make a deal. I don't know if Putin does, he might not, I don't know. He should make a deal. I think he's destroying Russia by not making a deal. I think Russia's gonna be in big trouble. You take a look at their economy, you take a look at the inflation in Russia. So I would hope, I would get along with him great, and, you know, I would hope he wants to make a deal.
Mr. President, you keeping U.S. sanctions on Russia until he makes a deal?
Well, sanctions or tariffs, I think the word tariff is much better because it keeps your dollar stronger. I think tariffs are more effective. I mean, I used sanctions on Iran was broke. When I left office, Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, none. They were flat broke. And October 7th would have never happened. And I think you all know that. It would have never happened. They had no money. Now they're rich, but, you know, they're weakened in a different way. I would say that the one attack by Israel really set them back. It really set them back. The pages and others. You know, the attack on air defense was a bad attack for
What are you signing now?
It's an executive order relating to reforms to the federal workforce, including to the senior executive service.
We're getting rid of all of the cancer. I call it cancer. The cancer caused by the Biden administration.
How confident are you, Mr. President, that you can keep the ceasefire in Gaza and conclude the 3 phases of the deal?
I'm not confident. That's not our war, it's their war, but I'm not confident, but I think they're very weakened on the other side.
Do you support the 2 states?
Gaza,
Imagine being Trump, all that abuse, prosecution, and hate. It takes a toll on a man. Honestly, he's not tweaking or spazzing out as hard as I would. He's being chill. Trump is a chill man, guys. You might not think so, but when you run into someone like me, if you did half of the stuff you said about Trump, to me, I'm gonna act way differently. Not as nice or kindly as Trump does.
Some beautiful things could be done with it,
But Trump is also vicious. He is vicious in some ways more than me.
Could be done with Gaza.
How do you see the
Especially with his comments.
for Gaza?
Well, it depends. I can't imagine you could have, well, you certainly can't have the people that were there. Most of them are dead, by the way, right? Most of them are dead. But they didn't exactly run it well. Run viciously and badly. So you can't have that.
Mr. President, on TikTok, sir, would you pause any decision on Chinese tariffs until you know what the resolution on TikTok will be?
No, if China didn't approve it, we could put tariffs on China. Don't forget, China charges us tariffs and we charge them very little, except for what I did. I put a lot of them. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars. But until I came along, China never paid 10 cents to this country. They ripped us off and they never paid anything. But like, if we wanted to make a deal,
That is true.
It was a good deal, and China wouldn't approve it, and then I think ultimately they'd approve it because we put tariffs on China. Maybe. I'm not saying I would, but you certainly could do that. And if we said, well, you're not going to approve it, then that's a certain hostility, and we'll put tariffs of 25, 30, 40, 50%, even 100%. And if we did that, I think they'd approve it.
President Trump, you've seen the other living presidents a couple times in the last few months. If you ever had to call on one of them for advice about anything that's going on, which one would you call?
It's an interesting. Well, I thought Bill Clinton was a very good politician. I don't think he was used properly. I think they disrespected him. When Hillary was running, he came back and he said, you know, you better get up to Michigan and Wisconsin. You remember that, Peter? Every house has a Trump sign on it. And they all laughed at him because the
Hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Especially if you love Trump.
Decades, long time. And they all laughed at Bill Clinton. Like, the hell does he know? And he turned out to be right because they won both of them. And then we just won both in this election, too. We won Wisconsin and Michigan and every other swing state. We won all the swing states. All 7. They talked about 7 swing states. We won them all. So, but Bill Clinton he had a great political sense, I think.
You looked like you were having a good conversation with President Obama at President
I was. And you'd like to know what it was? Everybody wants to know. And I wouldn't want to bet, but we were having some crazy conversations. Why do you ask me a question like that? You don't. I don't think you want to know. You might not. You might be insulted.
It's an executive order relating to holding former government officials accountable for unlawful disclosure of sensitive information. This next one, sir, is a declaration of a national energy emergency.
Yes! That's a big one. You know what that allows you to do? That means you can do whatever you have to do to get out of that problem. And we do have.
Thank God for Trump fighting a war against inflation.
At some point, will you use your powers of the presidency to tell Americans who are concerned about drones?
It will give him solace.
I will.
Can you tell us now?
In fact, I'd like to know because I just got here.
What do you think?
I just came here. I've been here for what, 15 minutes now.
Do people listening, because this is still our life?
And I got to read this letter too. Because of you, I found this letter.
I can read it for you.
It's interesting. Yeah, I know you would. Your father would too.
But is it anything he's wrong? Is it anything that you need to be worried?
No, I think it's terrible. I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
And can you commit to some kind of?
In fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that was, Susie? Okay. Yeah, why don't we find out immediately? I can't imagine it's an enemy or there would have been, people would have gotten blown up all over. Maybe they were testing things. I don't know why they wouldn't have said what it was. They had a lot of them flying over Bedminster, which is interesting, right?
And with the events today and yesterday, was everything moved inside just for cold weather, or was there some kind of security?
No security. Because they had everything shut down to drones. You can shut that down pretty easily if you're sophisticated. They're very sophisticated, these people. No, it was just cold weather. And we made a good move because, first of all, I thought it was incredible in the Capitol today.
Incredible.
You know what?
Spectacular.
I got great reviews on that speech. I got great reviews. Can you believe it? They actually were fair. Maybe the fake news is changing.
Unleashing energy production.
Unleashing energy production. But I thought it was, I think having it in the Capitol is great. It's obviously, you can take care of the people you have to take care of. The city was booming. And if we would have done it outside, people would have been hurt because it was really cold. It was like, looked sunny. But when you stood outside for 10 minutes, people were running back in. It was really cold and really windy. The wind brings it down.
Yes, I did a whole live stream on the inauguration speech.
I don't think you could have had it.
Wonderful speech. One of the longest presidential speeches in the last 100 years, if not the longest, if I'm not incorrect. Spectacular. Tremendous.
If we did that, and people would have been hurt.
The unlawful disclosure, is that related to the Hunter Biden situation?
Which one?
The one on unlawful disclosures by federal officials, is that related?
No, I think it's just more general than that. It's not Hunter Biden. I was surprised that President Biden would go and pardon his whole family, because that makes him look very guilty. You know, I could have pardoned my family. I could have pardoned myself, my family. I said, if I
Camilla
did this,
Harris
I'd
was
look very
fuming.
guilty. I don't think I'd be sitting here, frankly. If I did that, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now, because I would have shown that you're guilty.
This is Joe Biden's face at the inauguration. Does he look happy?
By pardoning all of those people that he pardoned, by pardoning J6, the Unselect Committee, they destroyed all of the documents. They deleted all of the information. There's no information. And a lot of the information pertains to Nancy Pelosi, because she was given 100, I mean, you know this, it's on tape with her daughter. Nancy Pelosi was responsible for not taking advantage of 10,000 soldiers or 1,000. You wouldn't have you could have used 400. It was a relatively small crowd. It wasn't the crowd that was at the mall. It was a small crowd. So I was a little bit surprised that he did it, because it makes him look guilty. I mean, he's going to have to live with it. Now, with that being said, it's unbelievable precedent it creates for a president. But the precedent is unbelievable. Now maybe every president that leaves office, they're going to pardon every person they ever met, so they don't have some lunatic like deranged Jack Smith, who's a total lunatic, by the way. Not a smart guy, he's a dummy. But we beat the hell out of him. And I helped my reputation.
Do you think you'd have to do the same thing?
He has a pardon. His whole family can sniff kids.
I wouldn't want to do that. No, I think it makes you look very guilty. I think it makes Biden look very bad, very weak, and very guilty. And I mean, he pardoned everybody. How about this J6 committee? Why is he pardoning them? The reason is because if you delete and destroy documentation, everything, they have nothing, because they were guilty as hell. They rigged it. It was a rigged deal. And when you do that, they look very bad, but I was a little surprised he did it. Liz Cheney, I mean, she's a lunatic. And she lost by the greatest margin in the history of a politician running for Congress, like 40 points. The reason it was the greatest is because anybody losing that badly is going to drop out. But she's a nut job. She doesn't drop out. You know, she just keeps chugging forward. And she lost by almost 40 points. That's the biggest number anybody's ever lost by. But why would Biden do that? He pardoned her and pardoned everybody. The reason is that they destroyed documents. And if you're even in a civil case, which this wouldn't be, I mean, people go to jail for a long time for doing that. What's this one?
That's unleashing American energy, sir. It relates to easing permitting processes and other regulatory systems to ensure that we can produce energy efficiently to drive the American economy forward.
Why did Bernie Sanders come? I don't even understand. I don't get why Joe Biden or Camilla Harris came. Why did Bernie Sanders came? Donald Trump didn't come to Joe Biden's inauguration.
First of all, I just got here. So my people came in. They have extraordinary decorator sense, right? Let me just see some of the pictures. Yeah, that's a good one. I could live with him. I could live with George Washington, I can tell you. I could live with Thomas Jefferson. I could live with most of them. They took a very safe route. They don't have any bad ones up there.
Withdrawing from
What is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir.
Ooh, that's a big one. So we paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China with 1.4 billion people. We have 350. We have, nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally, but let's say we have 325. They had 1.4 billion. They were paying 39 million. We were paying 500 million. It seemed a little.
Yeah, why? Like, no one wanted Bernie.
So that wasn't the reason.
No one wanted Bernie.
They offered me to come back for 39 million. In theory, it should be less than that, but you know. And when Biden came back, they came back for 500 million. He knew that you could have come back for 39 million. They wanted us back so badly, so we'll see what happens.
Mr. President,
Pretty sad though, think of it. China pays 39 million and we pay 500 million, and China's a bigger country.
Mr. President, you spoke about inflation today in your remarks. What actions are you taking today that will have a direct impact for Americans on their everyday costs to bring the
Well,
costs down?
the biggest thing and factor for inflation is energy. They screwed up my energy policy, and then they went back to it. You know, they hurt it really badly, and then they went back to it, and they started drilling more, but by that time it was too late. Many of these things that we're signing and that Doug Burgum is going to be signing, and Chris Wright, who's phenomenal, you know, Energy, Department of Energy. We're going to be taking we're going to make a lot of money from energy. We have more than anybody else. We're going to make a lot of money from energy. We're going to make a lot of money from tariffs. You know, European Union charges us, they have a VAT tax of 20%, but it's really much higher than that. And that's the equivalent, almost the equivalent of a tariff. And they're tough. They're very tough. And they don't take our cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take almost anything. And yet we take their cars, we take their farm product. We take a lot from them. So, you know, we have like a $300 billion deficit with the European Union. So we'll straighten that out with either tariffs or they have to buy our oil. The one thing they can do, our oil and gas, the one thing they can do to catch up quickly, buy our oil and gas.
Will you travel?
And they should do that.
Will you travel to China this year?
Yeah, could be. I've had the invite.
Mr.
I would, yeah, I would.
Talking about the European Union and the tariffs, like, what do you mean when you say that European Union country like is part of BRICS?
That are what?
BRICS.
Oh, BRICS. No, I was talking about BRICS. BRICS is 6 nations. I think it's 7 nations. And they were looking to do a number in the United States. And if they do that, they won't be.
Guys, I never even heard Biden mention BRICS.
Are you considering a universal?
Never even mentioned it.
I may, yeah, but we're not ready for that yet. We may put it, wrap it,
Mr. President.
because essentially all countries take advantage of the U.S. We don't make any good deals in the U.S. It's amazing in a way that we exist. We don't make good deals. We don't have any good deals. We have a deficit with almost, not all, there are a couple, I won't tell you their names because I don't want them to find out about it because they'll feel stupid. But there are a couple of countries that, actually don't make money with us. But I don't want to let you know because they'll immediately change that. But we're gonna do, I tell you what, our country has an amazing economic future. Everybody believes that.
What kind of universal tariff if you did do one?
Well, you put a universal tariff on anybody doing business in the United States because they're coming in and they're stealing our wealth, they're stealing our jobs, they're stealing our companies, they're hurting our companies. So you put a tariff on to keep them from doing that.
Mr. President, these strikers up a whole bunch of billionaires today. President Biden, in his farewell address, warned about oligarchy and why did you respond to that?
Well, he had a lot of guys, and then they found out that he didn't know what the hell he was talking about, and I think they deserted him. They deserted him. Those same guys.
He had a lot of billions
I don't
too.
make pretenses, smart guys, but there are a lot of smart people around, but they did desert him. They were all with him, every one of them. Now they're all with me, I don't know. It's not gonna get anything from me, I don't need money. But I do want the nation to do well, and they're smart people, and they have, they create a lot of jobs. And if they don't do it, China's gonna do it. You know, what they've done is they've taken...
Honestly, I was scared that Biden was gonna walk on stage at Trump's inauguration and be like, "Hey guys, I'm ready to take the presidency." Like, the way he kept looking at Trump, I thought he was gonna walk up on mic and be like, "Thank you for making me the president again." Like, that's what I thought was gonna happen, I won't lie. That would have been pretty funny. Trump would have had to be like, "Sorry, Biden, you lost, buddy, old pal."
But not when you're being ripped off like we are by the World Health. World Health ripped us off. Everybody rips off the United States. And That's it. It's not going to happen anymore. Thank you very much, everybody.
Bill,
One last one, sir. This is your Martin Luther King proclamation.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Thank
Hey,
you,
click
President
here to
Trump. Thank
subscribe to
you.
Fox News
Now let's
YouTube
see if there's
page
anything
and catch
new.
our hottest
Yes,
interviews
make
and
America
most
great again. What do you guys think about everything Trump's have been doing? His new executive orders are insane. He's brought back an American energy crisis because we were in one under Biden. We don't have barely any oil reserves. Energy prices are through the roof for Americans. Gas prices are through the roof with Americans. I'm actually working on a video for the main channel right now talking about Joe Biden's presidency. It's going to break down the price difference in gasoline under Biden and Trump. But let's see if we can see anything live about Trump now. I know it's only about 5 a.m. in the U.S., so I doubt there's anything. Try to refresh it. Can you hear me now? Trump, no birthright citizenship. What do you guys think about the no birthright citizenship?
I was saved by God to make America great again. The golden age of America begins right now.
A historic day for the country as Donald Trump is officially sworn in as the 47th president.
Yeah, if it freezes, you need to just refresh it. Like, just refresh it, come back on. But make sure you like and subscribe, too. I do a lot of Trump live streams.
And Marla Tejas.
A lot of political stuff you'll probably enjoy.
Alex Michelson reporting live from Washington tonight on one of the busiest political
What do you guys
days
think,
in
though,
modern
about the
history.
birthright citizenship? Should
President
that be
Donald Trump
ended?
Still at it late at this hour at the White House right now, signing executive actions as we speak inside the Oval Office, talking about a lot of different things, just banning DEI programs in the federal government. Let's listen in for a second.
Could be, but, you know, still not in a very long way. Oh, look at that. It says TikTok. My, what is that all about?
First, we have Alaska, sir. This is an executive order relating to unleashing Alaska's potential as an energy reservoir for the entire nation.
And what about Anwar?
I believe that would be included in aspects of the order.
We're opening up Anwar.
On the same time piece, President Trump, you and your members of your team now used to warn about the dangers of TikTok spying on Americans. What changed that you're not worried about that?
I just watched this whole video.
Deal. I mean, I may not do the deal, or I may do the.
Let's see.
You promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change. We'll maybe have to go back to the people, but we have to end it. We're the only country that has it.
Through an executive action?
You know, we're the only country that has it. Do you know, if somebody sets a foot, just a foot, 1 foot, you don't need two, on our land, congratulations, you are now a citizen of the United States of America. Yes, we're going to end that.
I do see what he means about it. I don't think illegals should be able to come here and just have a kid just for them to be a citizen. I think that's kind of ridiculous. But there's a lot of things that I think are also ridiculous, like, you know, if you were like, if your parents are illegal immigrants or whatever, they're illegals, that means you'll get deported back to your country. If your parents are illegal immigrants, but you were born here, you've never been to your home country, so they're just going to deport you back to your country you've never been to because you were born in America. That's the only thing that doesn't make too much sense to me, but I get what he's saying.
The age of America has arrived.
I get what he's trying to do.
Donald J. Trump, number 47 in 43 minutes. Happy days are here again. This is We the Sequel, We the People, round 2, as we take back our capital, as we take back the country after January 6th and all of those people running in jail for no reason. Most of it. I'm ready to see gas prices under $1.50. I'm ready to see the Federal Reserve abolished. I'm ready to see Trump buy 1 million Bitcoins for a strategic reserve for us Americans to have. I'm ready to see the northern and the southern borders secure. I'm ready to see inflation go down to zero. I'm ready for all the Jan 6 prisoners not only to get a pardon, but to get multi-million-dollar payouts in the future. And I'm ready to go to Greenland and have a nice hotel stay at a future Trump tower that gets built there. I'm ready for that.
Yeah, you know Greenland is like negative 30 right now, though.
Well, Greenland is really cold and icy, and Iceland is really green and nice, right?
Yeah, it was like they named it that to trick the Vikings. So Iceland's the green one. So they were like, the Vikings, they were scared of them, so they were just like, yo, we're going to call Greenland Iceland and reverse it. So that the Vikings got to Greenland and were like, fuck.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm really honestly going to be proud to see our president able to walk and not crap himself in front of the world stage. It's nice to have a president that can speak English without mumbling. It's nice to have a president that the people on the world stage actually respect and maybe fear a little bit. Remember when he did the thing with Rocket Man? People said he was going to start World War III. He's like, Rocket Man, I've got the biggest rocket. I've got a bigger button. I've got a bigger rocket. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime. And everyone said I was going to start World War III. But did it? No, it actually backed off Rocket Man. And in the end, they ended up shaking hands, which had never been done before, never been done in the history of the world. And it's that strength that you need when you come into a negotiation. You don't need some guy bumbling and barely able to walk, rolling up in front of the world leaders. They're laughing behind their backs. They're
Behind his backs.
At least Trump has swagger. He's got Americana, and he's a badass.
I definitely think he's learned a lot. I think, while we definitely didn't want the last 4 years, I think he's benefited from 4 years of just seeing what can happen. And now he's got the right team assembled. He knows how to move things around. And I think we're going to see real meaningful change.
Yeah, I'm ready for Elon to really, really, really cut most of the 2 million plus jobs in the federal government out of the equation, and I'm ready to see over 400 bureaucracies here in the United States that are like a cancer in God's U.S. Republic completely abolished. The IRS needs to be abolished.
I would like
Yes.
to see Department of Education gone. I would like to see ATF gone.
Why do you want the Department of Education shut down?
I would like to see
Before the Department of
ATF gone.
Education, we were ranked 9th in the world. Or no, we were 7th in the world.
In education.
Yes, in education. After the Department of Education, I think today we are about 14th. No Child Left Behind, drastically dumbed down. The curriculums made it so that students couldn't fail. And then every time the curriculum is seen to be upgraded, the teachers union shut it down.
Interesting. Do you think teachers should be paid more?
No.
Why?
There shouldn't be a public education system.
And I'm ready for Donald John Trump to make Bitcoins a legal tender here, like what has happened in El Salvador with Nayib Bukele.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
What's the benefit of having a cryptocurrency reserve?
Well, with Bitcoins, we have to adapt to that as Americans. We have to have that because if we don't, we're going to be very, very far behind of other nations like El Salvador, who's leading the way.
Yeah.
Those people there.
I guess it's just important to have market regulation when it comes to, Bitcoin because of pump and dump schemes. Like, did you see the Hawk-Tua coin?
Right, that's a huge problem. We have Bitcoins, they're incredible, and then we have all the scam coins out there. And there are so many altcoins that are just wreaking havoc.
Yeah, because it's
Life after life.
It's hard because you want to have a free market, but then the crypto world is just so full of scams. It's like you need some element of regulation.
Right, there needs to be some type of thing put in, and hopefully Trump can get it done.
What do you think about this upcoming presidency, bro?
I'm actually Cuban. I was born in Cuba. I came in 2011. First terms for Trump, didn't really agree with him. Didn't really agree with the way that he spoke about immigrants, especially I was not citizen yet. I didn't think about voting on the second term, but something happened. I saw that Biden took such a comfortable back seat during July 6th back in Cuba. I don't know if you've heard about the situation.
Tell us about it.
So I think it was 2022. There was a massive revolt all around the island. All the cities were taking to the streets, protesting that they were sick and tired. There was no food. There's no power. The government basically hoards all the resources, and instead of distributing them like they're supposed to, communism, they give it to the people that were close with them, the agents.
Like Venezuela.
Like Venezuela, exactly, same thing. It was violent. The police there are videos of police breaking into the house of one of the organization leaders. They shot him right in front of the family. You can see like the blood running. It's really sad. I was crying throughout that entire play. Like it was tragic.
And how did Biden respond to the July 6th events?
He didn't do anything. He basically said we're not gonna touch anything revolving around Cuba. We're gonna leave them to their devices. There's a group of Cubans that today are gonna be having a protest in front of the White House to basically encourage Trump to look at that situation and try to do something, try to help.
How long did it take you to achieve citizenship?
Well, for me, it was around 6-7 years. It's not hard. You just gotta know history, learn the history. They literally give you a booklet with the answers.
Jesus. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you. Can you tell me about your side?
Sure. So mine says protect trans kids. There's a lot of discourse about trans people right now. All of the talking points being made are word for word identical to what they were 20 years ago or 30 years ago about gay people.
It's like we have mutants living among us on planet Earth.
I think if kids want to change their name, explore gender identity, do whatever the fuck they want, that's fine. If they at some point want to do something medical about it, then they can have an informed conversation with a parent and or medical professional.
Hell the fuck no, they ain't 18. They can't do that.
Said he's gonna sign an executive
They
order
can't do that.
everyone, saying that there are two genders. So there's a pretty imminent threat of getting kicked out of the military, losing gender inclusive care. People are gonna die from this, and that's
Fuck off. No, they
really
aren't.
shitty.
You fucking
Transgender
asshole.
students in sports became a top issue in the 2024 campaign trail, and now a top priority of House Republicans in the new Congress.
The only time that the general public started caring about trans people and women's sports was when they started question mark winning. Like Leah Thomas isn't even, she's a good swimmer. She's not the best.
Yeah.
There's no epidemic of
Because she's a fucking man. Of course she's a good swimmer.
sweeping comments, like that's not happening.
Yeah.
And also being on estrogen long term actually like weakens your physical abilities. And medical transition is often necessary to compete in women's sports for trans people. So like
hatred has won, and that is depressing. I cried on election day. I know so many other women who cried on election day.
Good. Cry and leave the
This means that so many
country.
people have to go into hiding, can't be themselves.
Hide, hide, hide.
People are gonna die. People are. It's just I'm legitimately terrified for my immigrant friends. I stay awake at night thinking about them, thinking about trans people.
Maybe they should have came in legally.
Gay people should exist, trans people should exist, immigrants should be here or not. What I hope we can all come together and understand is that humans are humans. Maybe they did commit a crime, maybe they do something that you don't agree with. They are still people.
That should be in jail or deported. Because they're criminal rapists.
The mass deportation of immigrants is going to kill people.
yeah, Biden's shit. Okay, great.
What are your thoughts on the whole mass deportation issue?
Mass deportation. My wife is Mexican. Like I said, I live by the border. I love the Mexican people. There's a lot of good people. We definitely start at the top, meaning the worst, and work our way down. You know, necessarily not so many, all these little, people with their families or people second generation, this and that. Let's not get too carried away. We'll start with the worst and we'll work our way down. When you got murders and rapists in San Diego County, we have not just a sanctuary city, we have a super sanctuary city where not only can you not tell ICE if there's a problem with an illegal alien, you can't tell them even if they committed armed robbery or rape. They're like, no, what about the poor rapists and armed robbery? We can't send them back. We can't tell ICE.
We will not allow our local resources to be used for actions that separate families.
So they don't want to use the resources, which is what they calling ICE, just because they want to protect illegal aliens. I think the people that are doing these laws are actually paid off by the cartel. It's a crazy conspiracy. I know. It's one thing having immigration, but when you just have a total open border, and then when they come in, they get free health care, they get free cell phones, they get free hotels, when our homeless people are living on the streets. I mean, come on, people. We got to do this legally, right?
We need to have a very solid immigration policy so we keep attracting the best talents across the world to this land. to build it up, build economy, build companies, hire employ people, you know. I pay tax, and I want my tax to benefit my neighbors, my country, and my children, and my neighborhood, my community, right? I don't want other countries take advantage of the United States people.
Scientology's a cult. Thank you. Are you a Scientologist? Do you think women and children?
Do you think that we're Scientologists?
Nope, just getting the message out, that's all.
Okay, what's the worst thing Scientology's done?
They use children for auditing, so 8, 9, 10-year-olds are asking grown men about masturbation and anal sex.
That's not good. Do you feel like
Hashtag save the children.
are you hoping for like exoneration for the January 6th people?
I am indeed. In fact, I was down there at the vigil for the J6ers down on Freedom Corner with Nikki Withoff, who is Ashley Babbitt's mother. In fact, I have Ashley Babbitt's ashes in this necklace right here. I made this necklace with Ashley Babbitt's ashes. I made it for her and her husband.
This morning, new details about 35-year-old Ashley Babbitt, who was shot and killed by a Capitol police officer.
And I was down there, I was told that the word on the street is the guards were told to stay late tonight to help release the prisoners.
Are they being held in D.C. right now?
Oh yeah, they're not far from here, a few miles down the street.
Thank you so much, Matt. Any message to the American people before we go?
You should go watch his movie. This guy makes some great documentaries. I went to his premiere. It was freaking awesome. Thanks, brother.
I appreciate you, Matt. Thanks, Doc. Have a good one.
Yeah.
If you missed it, just 5 days ago, we dropped our first ever independent film called Dear Kelly, a project that's being received quite well across the political spectrum. It explores the life, backstory, and beliefs of a man named Kelly J. Patriot, who I met at a White Lives Matter rally in 2021.
Kobe Bryant was assassinated by the twins.
The film was shot over the course of 3.5 years, documenting Kelly's radicalization, his quest for revenge against a private lender, and his family's attempts to pull him out of the rabbit hole and put family first. The film is currently being self-hosted and privately distributed at www.dearkellyfilm.com for the low rental cost of $5.55. So if you want to support us and see the movie, head on over. All right, back to the streets of DC.
Oh yeah, we are surrounded by ancient pagan symbols, from the obelisk there, which may be the biggest obelisk in the world, to the dome there of Isis, the ever-pregnant womb of Isis, and the occult mindset, that's what that is, with the apotheosis of George Washington, which is that mural inside the dome, which represents that Masonic future that so many Masons are into having, where they ascend as a god into some type of paradise. It's not from the Bible, and I'm totally against all that. I'm standing here for Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the Lord of the heavens and the earth.
Wait, I'm a bit confused. You're here for Jesus Christ. However, the pagan symbology is also important.
Well, it's not important to me, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because the plan that was put in place to build Washington, D.C. was a plan, in fact, to honor the ancient gods. And the plan was not to honor Jesus Christ. The people who designed this place, the main people, were into it to honor their Masonic god, who is Satan, recorded about in the King James Version Bible.
Who do you think was controlling Biden behind the scenes?
Obama was definitely a key player. But again, in my research, Obama is more like a manager in Satan's hierarchy. He's got the World Economic Forum, he's got the UN, he's got King Charles and the monarchy. He's got so many different groups that have extreme amounts of power compared to me.
Yeah. Do you think that there's kind of like a second deep state forming around Trump?
Well, just protect Trump from having that happen, God. Please help him not to make the same mistakes that he made when he was the 43rd president of the United States, God.
Where do you get most of your news and information from?
X, not just Infowars.com with Alex Jones.
Did you use X back when it was in control of Jack Dorsey?
Well, I did, and I got suspended multiple times.
Was that kind of a wake-up call for you, just having your account taken down multiple times?
I was really aware of that type of thing back in 2013 when I started listening to Alex Jones. He started to wake me up to how things really work in a general way. How we're in a war, and there's a group called the globalists, and they want to depopulate the earth, and they want to get down to under 500 million people.
Yeah.
And they want to bring in their new world order system, their technotronic state where you can't buy or sell without the mark of the beast. It's right there in the book of Revelation, the King James Version Bible. I mean, we may live in that time. We may go through it. I'm ready to die for Jesus. I'm never taking the mark of the beast no matter what.
What's the mark of the beast?
It could be a microchip in your hand, this one, your right one, or your left one, and then maybe it's some type of Neuralink chip in your head.
Yeah.
Or maybe something more advanced than that.
Yeah.
Some people have said the nanoparticulates, or however you said, in those bioweapon shots from Big Pharma are some type of mark of the beast thing. But anyway.
Hey man, well I appreciate you so much. Thanks for your time, man. Appreciate you. Our show's called Channel 5. Be sure to check it out, man. Appreciate you, dude.
You're awesome.
Thank you. You're awesome too.
Thank God for his life.
Yeah, man.
I love you.
You too.
Channel 5 live worldwide, Hollywood and Vine. What's the authority? Channel 5 News. Channel 55. We don't fuck with clusters. 5 is the best number.
Channel 5, guys. Channel 5.
I think this is a pretty big one. I think he's going to have this one measured.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Oh, there's no teleprompters. Oh, shit.
Nah, I'll be honest. I don't like Osmond Gold.
DC's buzzing with electricity. Here's what it was like in the Capitol today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President-elect of the United States, the Honorable Donald John Trump.
Guys, it's time to put on some of that classic fire show that we all need. Now that we know about the Jan 6ers being released, let's see what the newest update on it. This was 3 hours ago, so...
All I got. But no more are going to be released tonight, okay? And tomorrow is a brand new day. We'll see what tomorrow brings, okay? I'll probably be here with you. Okay?
Violation.
No, I was told no more tonight. No more tonight, okay? And tomorrow, I don't know, okay? And that's the best I got for you. Nope. I'm sure they're fine.
We just
but
worry that you release them after we left.
no. The manner is assured no more being released tonight.
Oh, good.
Okay?
We worry about their phone.
I understand. I very much understand.
Okay, tell your boss. He's humanitarian.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. And tell him not to pepper spray him and bring him up with him.
The Real Alex Jones Show.
Please go to thealexjonestore.com. We have the great atomic defense, the strongest, greatest, concentrated of all the known herbs and compounds to boost your immune system. Everybody should be on, especially this time of year. Boost your immune system.
Boost your immune system. Wash your hands, though, guys. Is that all that was on this freaking episode? I thought Alex Jones was going to go on a rant or something. I guess they just suspended them.
What in the Alice in Wonderland nightmares is...
In front of everyone. That's how you know, out in the country, an old barn finally falls down in the high wind, and you don't haul it off, you don't cut it into scrap, you just burn it. The next time there's a good rain, stuff's kind of wet, a few days after the rain, put the gasoline, diesel on it, call the neighbors over and have a barbecue and light it up and have a bonfire. And we need to torch it. Because that wood pile's got a lot of snakes in it, and it's an eyesore. Burn it. Nuke it. As an example. Do it. understand that the intimidation and attacks on Trump supporters and the Tea Party and the InfoWar and Ron Paul that built the launch pad for this, we're used to being attacked and lied about. We knew what we were signing up for. And again, I just want our enemies to understand that there's nothing you could do to me to ever make me stop.
Nothing.
And it's a fundamental philosophy and spiritual issue that you don't seem to get. You would run and try to climb the first ladder you could find, no matter what you had to do to get up it. You would sell out your mother for a stick of bubble gum. You think Hollywood and corporate glitz and the establishment is some destination you want to get to because you spiritually are devoid of understanding. Now, I was never attracted to all that, but becoming successful and very famous, I got invited into it, and more out of a curiosity, I stuck my nose in it here and there quite a few times and found out I didn't like the look, the smell, the taste of it. I was like, if there's a place on the opposite end of the universe from this, that's where I want to be. But they just don't have what it takes. They don't have the right stuff. But there are a lot of people of every race, color, and creed that do have the right stuff. And as Thomas Jefferson said, evil takes over when people with the right stuff don't do anything. Trump's got the right stuff. Elon Musk has got the right stuff. Tucker Carlson's got the right stuff. J.D. Vance has got the right stuff. You have the right stuff. That's why you're attracted to this. That's who you are. This is your family. You're my family. We need each other. We got the right stuff. And the people that don't have the right stuff, that don't pack the gear to be real humans, who for whatever reason never got their heads screwed on straight, don't like us.
They call us Nazis, guys. We are not Nazis. Half of America, more than half of America is not Nazis.
I had jobs when I was 11. My parents were very nice, but they made me do everything. Chores constantly. I liked it. I was used to it. Parents taught me how to cook dinner starting when I was like 3. You know, I could cook dinner by the time I was about 7. Knew how to skin a buck, run a trot line by the time I was 7. Shooting 410 shotguns when I was 4. And I grew up and I didn't understand people. Most people really liked me. And so I had people loving me everywhere, but I also had people that just came out of the woodwork to attack me. And I didn't realize till I got older, I was super good looking. I was funny. I was smart. And there were bad people, white, black, old, young, who didn't like me because they were jealous of me.
That's right.
And if you want to understand why
jealousy
the left hates prosperity and freedom, is because they are
hit the like and subscribe button, guys.
And it makes them feel bad. But leftists up in some mansion above homeless people and needles and poop everywhere, they like that. That makes them feel powerful. You or I see human trafficking and sex slavery and poop and needles. And then if we go home to a nice house and a pool and a nice steak dinner, it makes the steak dinner suck. It makes you feel weird about your gorgeous wife and your great-looking kids and your nice car. And the left knows that, so they manipulate the producers and try to make us feel bad that we're successful and we're strong because they hate good, successful people. And they hate the general public, and they love depression and victimhood and ugly architecture and ugly art and ugly music and ugly literature. It's a hate letter to everybody. And if you're not evil, you don't understand it.
If you're not evil, you don't understand their jealousy.
Philosophy and I understood the technicals of how civilization and history worked and who the players were, but I was always thinking, oh, it's the evil on top's directing it all, which it is, principalities and, the air, wickedness in high places. But it's working with people at every level of civilization and society that just burn with envy and jealousy and are just nasty. And you've got to realize there's a lot of them. They're still a minority. But you got to understand that they're not like us. And they love putting a shot in you that makes you sick, and they're going to slowly kill you and suck your money.
Not that they would do that, YouTube. Not that they would do that.
It's not everybody in medicine that's like that.
Not that they would do that, YouTube. Not that they would do that. Every single thing that the World Health Organization has recommended is 100% good. We're not talking about vaccines, because those things are great for you. Those are wonderful for you. Wonderful. I recommend everyone goes out and gets those. And, we're always following YouTube's community guidelines. Always. Every single day. So make sure you get whatever the World Health Organization recommends you. Get all your flu shots. Get everything you need to stay properly healthy. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what he was saying. That's pretty much all I'm going to say on that.
Or of the mass murderer, Joseph Mengele 2.0, Fauci, or the criminal J6 committee, illegal committee, falsifying evidence, witness tampering, destroying evidence after the J6 committee. If they think this blanket pardon is going to hold up, they got another thing coming. And well-known constitutional lawyer and top Republican strategist and analyst Tyler Nixon joins us. He's, again, worked for Ronald Reagan, obviously related to Richard Nixon, grew up there in Delaware, literally next door to the Bidens, went to school with them, knows them like the back of his hand. And he is about to lay out, very simple, absolute fact, that you cannot have these type of pardons. We hear it's a constitutional crisis, and the Supreme Court said the president has limited immunity. That's the executive branch, or the other branches would take it down. It's a separation of powers. But impeachment and being removed at the ballot box, those are the checks and balances there. But could we say that Trump could do a pardon for himself in perpetuity so he could start kidnapping and barbecuing children on the White House lawn? If General Milley, hypothetically, was found to be a meth dealer, I'm not saying he is, or to have dead people buried in his backyard that he murdered, would this blanket pardon say that was okay? According to Biden's legal theories, that's the case. These new type of pardons. It's very clear in the Constitution, a pardon is for federal crimes you've been convicted of, presidential pardon of the United States of America, that the leader who's been given that power by the electorate believes were miscarriages, and is corrective justice as a check and balance on the legislative and on the judiciary. Now, if this stands, the powers they claim Trump got to send SEAL Team 6 to kill his opposition, which he doesn't have, would actually be there, because presidents could know that they can now give get-out-of-jail-free cards to people to go commit crimes in the present tense when they get elected, and it can protect these criminal cabals. Now, in the law, Tyler Nixon, explain this. Take your time. This is important.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm probably sure you saw that the freaking thing froze. By froze, I mean, we ran out of battery. I'm trying to see if I can find the freaking Twitter thing. I guess that's it for right now, guys. Peace out.